This is the newsroom for Monday, June 28, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, the Chief Justice throws out the case blocking police promotions, but the government says a list submitted by the Police Service Commission will be ignored since the members of the commission have been suspended. 3 days after he was caught in Canberra assaulting a man in custody, a police officer is yet to face any charges despite a promise from the force that he will be dealt with condignly.
We don't tolerate excessive use of force in the Guyana Police Force.
A woman beaten and stabbed by her former boyfriend dies. His body is later discovered in a canal.
She's a quiet-going person and she didn't deserve to death like that.
Guyana to get 100,000 doses of Sinopharm vaccines this week. And in sport, Pollard wants West Indies batsmen to step up in T20 against South Africa. And air badminton introduced at UG as part of Games expansion. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you can join us. First up, Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George, in a ruling handed down on Monday, did not grant any of the reliefs sought in a case initiated by Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus, which challenged the 2020 promotion of police ranks by the Police Service Commission. She insisted that there was nothing unlawful in considering a disciplinary matter in making a determination of whether a police rank could be promoted or not. Brutus and several other ranks had asked the court to declare that the PSC's decision not to promote ranks who have disciplinary action was unlawful, and to also quash the promotions of Edmund Cooper, Philip Azor, and Curly Simon, all senior superintendents of police. The Chief Justice ruled that she would not quash their promotions. She explained also that the court could not compel the commission to reconsider its decision, but asked that a system be put in place to ensure that disciplinary matters are finalized without delay. Meanwhile, shortly after the decision, the suspended chairman of the Police Service Commission, Paul Slow, went ahead and announced a list of promotion, but the government quickly shut down and said the list will be ignored. Slow and the other commissioners said they would ignore the suspension letters they received from the president. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal said the government of Guyana rejects as unlawful and illegal a list of purported promotions of members of the Guyana Police Force by the Police Service Commission. Nandlal reminded that the Police Service Commission has been suspended as of June 16, 2021. The Attorney General said the decision of the President can only be rescinded, revoked, set aside, or reversed by the President himself or by a court of competent jurisdiction. No person, let alone a constitutional commission, would be allowed to become judge, jury, and executioner in Guyana's constitutional democracy. The rule of law simply does not permit it, the statement noted. Nandal said the attempt of the Police Service Commission to countermand, disobey, and disregard the President's decision not only amounts to an effrontery to the highest executive office in this land, but is simply absurd. A police officer who was caught on video assaulting a man who was in police custody, throwing him off his feet by pulling at the foot cuffs and then dragging him into the lockups, has not yet faced any charges despite strong words from the police commander that the officer will be dealt with condignly. The officer, identified as Constable Elliott, has been placed under close arrest while the victim was released from custody on Friday night, the same night he was detained and assaulted.
Pull it like something.
A video posted on social media showed that an officer attached to the Wales police station on the west bank of Demerara Region 3 had assaulted a civilian who was detained on the police station. The incident, according to police reports, occurred on Friday night, and the police officer involved has been identified as Constable Elliott. Police have since said that an investigation into the matter has been launched and Constable Elliott has been placed on close arrest. It is understood that the Office of Professional Responsibility of the Guyana Police Force will be investigating the matter. Meanwhile, on Sunday, during a telephone interview with the Newsroom, Police Commander Errol Watts stated that the use of excess force will not be tolerated in the police force.
But we don't tolerate excessive use of force in the Guyana Police Force. Whoever does something like that will be dealt with condignly by Wednesday of this week. I will be submitting a file by hand to the Director of Public Prosecutions for advice.
Reporting for the Newsroom, I am Vishani Raghuir.
A shipment of 100,000 doses of the Chinese-manufactured Sinopharm vaccine used to inoculate people against the COVID-19 virus is expected in Guyana this week. This is according to Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, who also revealed that there were still no dates for the arrival of the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine or another shipment of AstraZeneca through the COVAX facility. Dr. Anthony also could not provide any updates on an arrival date for the delayed second doses of the Russian-made Sputnik V vaccines. After an initial donation of 20,000 Sinopharm vaccines from the Chinese government, Guyana went out to procure the additional 100,000 of the Sinopharm vaccines. Guyana is buying the vaccines for US $15 per dose.
Well, we're hoping that we'll get the 100,000 doses that we have purchased from Sinopharm. Those vaccines are due sometime this week. So we're working with the shipper to make sure that we get those vaccines in.
Okay, and I know the last time we spoke, you would have said that you're still working on some arrangements to ship the Johnson & Johnson vaccine through the African Union. How have those discussions been going?
Those we are waiting on the estimated time of arrival from the African Union platform. We have been in discussions with them, but we don't have a final date as yet.
Okay, Minister.
Similarly, we are working with COVAX to get a date for the shipment of the AstraZeneca vaccines, but so far we haven't received anything.
When the newsroom returns, family members of the woman beaten and stabbed by her boyfriend said she ended the relationship a month ago and did not deserve to be killed. You're watching the newsroom. Omela Singh, the 26-year-old woman who was beaten and stabbed multiple times by Omkar Singh, her 49-year-old boyfriend left him more than 1 month ago after he was abusive towards her. This is according to the young woman's family members who spoke to the newsroom on Monday.
The mother of 3 young children aged 2, 6, and 7 years old, Omela Singh, left her partner, 49-year-old Omkar Singh, more than 1 month ago after he reportedly became abusive towards her. After leaving him, the young woman, who is now deceased, went to stay with her mother at a family house at Parfait Harmony, West Bank Demerara, in Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara. On Sunday, however, the man visited this house. There, police reported that an argument between Omela and Omkar ensued, and that Omkar reportedly hit the woman, then stabbed her multiple times. On Sunday afternoon, she succumbed to her injuries while receiving treatment at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Grieving family members spoke about the relationship the couple shared and lamented that the young woman did not deserve to die in this manner.
Because she going to cook for them. Children, she tell me she cooking chow. I say, girl, don't open the door. Because you know how he did, no? It's a month and something she left and they buy me here with the children. So he's bringing them up parts, stuff and little pampers and stuff for the baby. And I had nobody home here. When I do get the message, my neighbor then called that time, auntie, your daughter gets stabbed up and I run out. And when I call, she gone to base and to transfer she to Georgetown. And when I go there now for care, the little clothes, I find she dead. Why is it in the operation? They said the knife, how it damaged me, you know, is how much stab. All she flees had the blood when I see. And she dead and left three little children. And after Saturday, she going to find out for work. When she come back, she said, "Man, you go to your cousin them and take a little walk." I said, "All right, man." She said she can deal with them, you know. And go to the market and buy and come back. And she said, "All right, go, mommy, you go." And this is the last, what she said. And when she talked to me, I go to the hospital. She don't live.
I never know about the situation going on with she and her husband because one time I hear them two fight up. She come here and live. I say, "All right, this good." She come and live with your mother. And she 3 children. But me and the man is come here, always transfer with she. But she's a quiet going person and she didn't deserve to death like that.
Meanwhile, on Monday, the body of Omkar was discovered at the Conservancy in Canal No. 1, West Bank Demerara. The man was on the run after he beat and stabbed Omela on Sunday. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Ragabir.
A new batch of the fast food franchise Chicken and Burger Delight has been opened at Lenora, West Coast Demerara, Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara, and is set to provide employment for about 35 people.
On Saturday, the second outlet of Chicken and Burger Delight, a fast food franchise on the west coast of Demerara in Region 3, Essequibo Islands, West Demerara.
Additional portions, the interchange, days off, and so on. So that's a ballpark figure.
The managing director related that this new outlet was also launched due to cognizance of the wider development carded for Region 3.
Of course, this location here, it was not going to be just a simple, basic location, just to put up a sign and fry chicken and sell our customers. We wanted to do a good environment because we realized that, of course, on the precipice of oil and gas in Guyana right now, people are looking for family environments around the country. You don't want to have a shack anywhere. You don't want to have presence that's not appealing to customers. Region 3, I think on the agenda is going to be a prominent region because of massive oil and gas development here in Guyana as well. And so I think our location here is going to provide much needed employment opportunities for residents here as well. And that is why we position ourselves in a location where many fast food franchises don't operate. If you look at Freedom Hoop, you have a saturated market here with fast food. You look at Parica, saturated market. We come here because we figure that this is where people really, reside.
Meanwhile, Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, Gov't Indar, who addressed the opening ceremony, acknowledged that the decision to open the outlet in this area was driven by sound market research. The minister also spoke of the development carded for the region and assured members of the audience that government is committed to creating an enabling environment for investment.
Not all businesses in Region 3 expand further in Region 3. They try to take it out of Region 3 into other regions, which is nothing wrong about that. But then you have also to build the region as well. And how do you do that? You have to spread out. And that is what this family is doing. I have seen that the wider private sector is also having that level of confidence to invest and to broaden their presence in Guyana and to spread their wings. We as government, we stand with you. Once businesses invest, we work with businesses to make sure they are successful. That is government's role.
Also providing brief remarks at the opening ceremony were Sturtville Carnegie Neighborhood Democratic Council Chairman, Jainarain Narain, newly elected President of the Region 3 Chamber of Commerce, Yesu Persaud, and other members of the Puran family who are also business owners. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Vishani Ragabir.
The Ministry of Housing and Water last weekend handed out 354 house lots to residents of the Essequibo Coast, with officials saying the plan to allocate 10,000 house lots per year across the country will be delivered. Sherwin Greaves, the Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, said the house lots are highly subsidized. He said it cost an average of $2.5 million to develop a single house lot, taking into account the roads, drains, other infrastructural works, and utility services. Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell said works in the areas will cost an estimate $850 million. For next year, he said the ministry's priority plan for the development of housing areas in Regions 2 will cost $3.2 billion.
Basically, we're here to complete an exercise that we started 2 months ago. We committed to the people of Essequibo that we will have a dream realized land allocation exercise. And so we are here for the first phase, and that is on the naming 2 months ago. Now today and tomorrow we'll be here for allocations for charity and an area called St. Joseph as well as Buxton. And so a minimum of 350 for charity. We've already completed 350 on the naming, so a minimum of 700 allocations therefore in the 2021 program for Region 2. Now, to complement that, the question will be asked about the infrastructure works. And that too sometimes, because of the resources that are required, that too sometimes slows us down in our response. But because we have a commitment and we've committed to this cause, and so in keeping with our 10,000 allocations per year, so in the new year, as part of our 2022 budgetary program, the Region 2 in minimum infrastructure works for these two housing areas that we'll be developing, the new areas, we're talking about the investments about $3.2 billion. 1.7 alone for the underneming phase 4, the others for the charity end. And this is the road, drainage, electricity, water, as well as for, when part of the drainage would be to construct culverts on the road network. And so persons can be able to access those facilities. We're extremely pleased about this for Region 2. Region 2 has been waiting a while. It's a boost to the housing program here. You have other activities that are taking place by other investors. For example, earlier this week you saw the turning of the sod for construction of a batching plant for cement, and that too augurs well for this industry, this construction as well as the housing industry. And so we are pleased about that. Another aspect that we don't often speak about and which we're proud of is that when we met in August, what we met is a confused system, in the sense that there were a number of issues of monies received for by more than one person for a particular lot. So you had double allocations. You have persons with squatting that were not dealt with. And charity, for example, has a lot of that. It's a lot of work, but we have been aggressively dealing with those matters. In fact, we have teams that go out, conduct the investigation. In this, sometimes we have reconveyance that has to be done. For example, someone has a building on the lot, but then a title is passed for another name on that very lot. And so, because it's easier with somebody else who owns the building, we can reconvey and allocate that person that had the title for that first lot to another lot. So those are the sort of decisions that you make that are part of our work program. And so we've been quite busy trying to improve the housing program here in Region 2. And that is why we also strengthen our regional office to ensure that we can have matters dealt with promptly, and we also to have honest officers in the system. As I said, we have had issues here in the past about unscrupulous activities, monies collected but not necessarily reflected in CHPA accounts or their books. And so these are the sort of things that we are rectifying. It's no fault of that allottee who innocently think that they're paying for a lot. And so we will continue to have these kind of initiatives and open days to deal with the issues as we ongoing.
When the newsroom returns, Rastafarians want immediate suspension of jail time for small quantities of ganja. You're watching the newsroom. Even with the National Assembly currently considering an amendment to the Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act, which would see the decriminalization of small amounts of marijuana and a change in the current sentencing structure, the Rastafarian community wants action now and has called for an immediate suspension of jail time for small quantities of marijuana until the lengthy consultative process concludes. Members of the Rastafarian community were on Monday engaged in protests outside the Attorney General chambers, calling for the immediate suspension of jail time for small amounts of marijuana. It comes on the same day that the Special Parliamentary Committee meets to select a chair to begin work on the government's proposed ganja bill. But amid anticipation that the process might run on for several months, the Rastafarian community wants government to take steps to put an end to the oppression of its religious practices now. 5 months after Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal took the bill to Parliament and in the process defeated another bill put forward by the opposition, the committee members were selected. It includes Nandlal, Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs Gail Tashira, Minister of Education Priya Manikchand, Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben, and Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson. From the opposition side, the members are Kemraj Ramchatan, Annette Ferguson, Amanza Walton Desir, and Sherrod Duncan. Nandlal, as the mover of the bill, will be selected chairman of the committee. The Rastafarian community explained that while government's emphasis is on the sentencing structure for persons found with marijuana, there continues to be an alienation of their rights to practice their religion freely. According to representatives from the House of Nyabingi, the criminalization of marijuana is a violation of their spiritual and cultural rights.
We need immediate suspension of jail time for marijuana, for a certain amount of marijuana. At least 2 ounces for now. Because marijuana is a free thing among the earth right now. While we being oppressed and our social life being mashed up. One's going to jail, leaving families.
One of the main concerns that I have is the fact that the previous government and this government now keeps talking about the sentencing policy, right? Which in itself has nothing to do with Rastafari rights. And what we're defending is the rights of Rastafari according to the Constitution.
So that's why no person's religion, not Rastas, no person's religion or religious belief, and this applies to all religions. But when it comes to Rasta religion, the judges, the lawyers, I don't know, no one read this.
In brief comments to the newsroom, Nandlal said with the bill already before a special select committee, government intends to engage all stakeholders, including Rastafarians.
At that special select committee, we intend to engage the stakeholders and to have their input, because we don't pass legislation that are without consultation. As far as possible, we try to engage in a consultative process.
The Attorney General said he knows and understands that government processes are normally slow, and the point is noted that the process needs to be accelerated. The government bill proposes counseling and community service for persons found with between 15 to 30 grams of marijuana instead of mandatory jail time. The Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development on Monday handed over 14 subvention checks to the chairs of 14 out of 17 neighborhood democratic councils in Region 4. The funds will be used to meet the needs of the varying communities. The Local Government Minister Nigel Damral, in a short comment after the handing over ceremony, urged the NDC chairs to ensure the monies are used to directly benefit the residents and fall in line with the values held by the government. He said that oftentimes works are being completed without due consultation with the residents, but that attitude needs to change.
We expect that the NDCs are going to work with these communities so that the priority areas are being addressed. Recently, across different NDCs, we've had severe flood impact. Tomorrow I'm headed to Region 5 and 6 also to do a similar exercise. We are making steady progress in all of our NDC areas. A few days ago we were in Region 3 to do a similar exercise. The balance of the subvention will also be provided when they're finished spending this 50%. The balance would be provided to the NDCs, and we expect that they are going to use the balance as well to complete works that have not yet been fully completed, but also to ensure that they do things that are more meaningful to persons on the ground. What we have found is that a lot of the work that NDCs usually do, redound of course to the benefit of people, but they have not been usually doing so with due consultation. So that is why we would like our subvention that we provide to the NDCs, that it must be done in a public way so that persons from within communities can also participate in the know that these resources were provided to the NDCs.
A 26-year-old student of the University of Guyana was in the wee hours of Monday morning robbed of his laptops, cash and important documents when unknown persons broke into his apartment in Cummings Lodge, Georgetown.
Firstly, I'm a UG student, right? Final year student. And I was doing up my final year project up to 1 o'clock this morning. So I retired at bed at probably 1:15, around 1:15. And maybe it was around 3:15. I woke up because I heard noises in the living room. When I got up, I realized the windows were all open. Everything was open. Glass was removed and everything was removed. And I realized that all of my laptops and everything from the table was gone. 2 laptops and my bank cards and everything was on the table when. Yeah, money and some money was out of the token.
Okay. This is the first time something like this ever happened to you, and since you've been living at that location?
Yeah, this is the first time that something actually ever happened to me.
All right. And tell me a bit about when you went to make a report to the police station. What happened then?
Yeah, I actually went to the police station, but like when I was there, I was like calling for probably like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and nobody was responding. And then I realized that the police was like was just sleeping, and he actually just told me to come back this afternoon, and you know, it was really frustrating.
When the newsroom returns, how a small business started by a medical student to pay off his university skills has led to a fast food franchise. This is the newsroom. What began as a business venture to help Junior Ramkelawan, a medical student, offset some of his university expenses, has now evolved into a lucrative business. On Saturday, the young man opened the third outlet of Junior's Barbecue Grill and Burgers at the Giftland Mall, Turkine, Georgetown.
I'm a medical student, a fourth-year medical student, and so the business was established primarily to offset my tuition studies. We just want to bring a different taste to the public. Barbecue is something that I think that I was good at doing, I am good at doing, and so that is why I launched into that field of barbecue. We do barbecue chicken and fries, we do buffalo wings and fries, we do fish, we do burgers, chicken burgers, beef burgers, we do lunch special. The item that stood out the most for me is the buffalo wings. The buffalo wings, we have had feedback from a lot of customers about the wings. Of course, the barbecue and the other stuff, the burgers. So that's why I said everything. But definitely, you know, the wings, you know, is definitely the most recommended meal for me. Customers have been supporting so far. This is our new location at Giftland Mall. But before that, you know, we have our other location at Diamond and the Seawalls. And the support has been tremendous. You know, we appreciate it. We are in the phase of expanding our business, our brand, and we wanted to bring the business here so that customers on the East Coast and also customers that comes at Giftland will get a chance to buy from us. Our motto is a taste with a difference. We believe that our stuff, it tastes unique, and once customers try it once, they will definitely come again. So we believe that, you know, once we bring our A game, we will be able to stand out. Well, I'm looking forward to expanding the business, making the name of the business be known, also to satisfy our customers in general. The business, it was set up for a worthy cause, and you know, so I just would like to encourage you guys to, you know, buy from Junior's Barbecue Grill and Burgers.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport. Welcome back to the newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We start things off with some cricket news. West Indies white ball captain Kieran Pollard wants his set batsmen to consistently finish the job of winning matches, rather than leave it up to others who follow. Pollard was speaking on the eve of the third T20-01 between West Indies and South Africa on Tuesday. Akim Green reports.
After a 16-run defeat on Sunday, which allowed South Africa to level the 5-match series in Grenada 1-1, Pollard highlighted that a flop in batting between overs 7 to 12 cost them the chase of 167. Going forward, the skipper wants his main batters to value their wicket and bring home more matches.
It's not a concern, for us that, we didn't get the total. I think batting at number 9, having Dwayne Bravo at number 9 is a plus. Knowing that, we have a guy of that caliber batting at that position. For me, as I said, the disappointing thing is not using our cricket smarts. So it's not a matter of not getting a total because of the amount of batting or what we have. It's just a matter of using our intelligence, to get the total. And that's the little disappointing part. And I've identified that, before. So, for us, not many teams, have that luxury. And we are lucky enough to have that sort of luxury. So one of the things that we have to guard against is that we leaving it to the other person to finish the job. And that's the continuous conversations that we have been having. Whoever is there, take the team home. And hence the first game, it was good to see, Chris and Andre finishing it off and guys not getting that opportunity. So we would like to do that more often than not. But being human beings and playing a sport, these things might tend to happen over a period of time at different times, and it's just to not have it happen on a regular sort of basis.
While power hitting remains a cornerstone of the team's success over the years, Pollard said certain players like Nicholas Pooran are given the responsibility to keep the strike rotating.
He's one of the guys that we have identified, to play, that sort of role for us to try to bat as deep as possible. Yes, we know by nature he's a naturally, aggressive individual, and he can change the game and change the momentum, for us. So within the 11 that we have, there's a couple of guys we have identified, to do that role. And again, when I mentioned in the press conference between 7 and 12, we just needed a little bit of cricket smarts, to come into play. And, the thing about it is that we accept where we actually, went wrong. Nicholas getting out at that time, myself going in, facing a couple of balls, and getting out at that time, was, sort of not what we actually wanted. Russ, for example, yes, we understand his role and he has been given a specific role for us. So certain things we won't want to change, but again, each and every individual have a different responsibility. But once we know that guys perform their responsibilities, we're going to come out on top. And when guys falter, we're going to have the situation what we had yesterday. So it's a matter of consistently trying to do what the team needs and requires. And, as individuals and players, we have to accept that, we faltered yesterday. And for me, once we accept that, it's a matter of coming out now and showing that you have learned from what transpired the day before. So let's see what happens come tomorrow.
The skipper said Sherman Hetmeyer and other players will be given opportunities during the course of the 15 matches across the 3 tours.
Shamron is fit and well. He's been practicing well. We came into camp, on the 15th or the 16th, and everyone has been training, since then. Remember, we have a provisional squad of 18 guys. So each and everybody at some point in time will get an opportunity, to play. And as you rightly said, it's only 11 can play. And when you look at different combinations and different things, you have to take all of these things into consideration. So it's not just one individual. I think there's, Cottrell as well, there's O'Shane Thomas, there's Heaton Walsh. All these questions could be asked, of these guys as well. But we continue to hear the noise about one individual. But at the end of the day, this is a team and, everyone will get an opportunity in terms of combination, I think when we see it fit.
The 30-20 International on Tuesday bowls off at 14 hours. For the Newsroom, Akim Green.
We tell you now that Guyanese all-rounder Shabika Gajnabi has played 12 matches for the senior West Indies women's team and has now been appointed vice-captain of the A team for the upcoming tour by Pakistan and Antigua. Both head coach Courtney Walsh and Anne Brown-John, that's the West Indies women's and girls' lead selector, said they are impressed by the 20-year-old and see her as a bright prospect for the future. The A teams will play 3 T20s, which will be played on the same day and at the same venues as the T20 internationals as double headers, followed by 3 one-dayers from June 30 to July 16.
We have been looking at a lot of these players for many years, since they have been under 19 and coming up. And the 2 persons that we have selected for both captain and vice captain were captains of their under 19 teams. So we looked at both Boyce and Gajnabi since then, and we saw not only leadership qualities, but people that we could start to groom for the future. So therefore, we had no hesitation in choosing them for the captain and vice captain of this team. That we consider to be all part of their developmental process. But as I said, it started since the under 19.
Our progression has been pretty well. One of the reasons why we sort of, get her in that leadership role, she's been around for some time. She showed promise in all departments, and she has the potential to develop into a good all-rounder. Her batting has really come on a lot more in this camp because we're focused on that a little bit more as well. And I think she's now believing in herself a lot more, or in her own skill set. And I mean, the ability that she has, it's as a role to play within the team. And as I said to her just this morning, I had a conversation with her, is that, we're not looking at her short term, we're looking long term, and she has the potential to develop in a genuine all-rounder. So it's work in progress, and she's been working pretty hard and just trying to understand the role. That's one of the things we're trying to get the players to do, to understand the role that they have to play and how they go about executing.
Hockey news now. A depleted Guyana women's hockey team finished in the cellar position in a 5-team Pan Am Indoor Hockey Cup at the weekend in the USA. Upon arrival in the US, Guyana lost 3 players: the experienced Sonia Jardine with an ankle injury, and skipper Gabriela Chavert and goalkeeper Alicia Chavert tested positive for COVID-19. Short on resources, Guyana had to use manager Princessa Wilkie as a substitute goalkeeper, even though she never even wore goalkeeper gear before. The result was Guyana lost 22 to USA, 14-0 to Argentina, 13-0 to Canada, and 7-1 to Uruguay. Abisedi Cadogan, who scored a double against the USA, and skipper Marzana Fitgao against Uruguay were Guyana's scorers in the tournament. USA successfully defended their title, won in 2017 in Guyana, by beating Canada 3-0 in the final, while Argentina edged Uruguay 5-4 in the third-place playoff. Zune Online Shopping and Shipping will be sponsoring the equipment needs of national table tennis player Miguel Wang, who has qualified for the Junior Pan Am Games scheduled for November in Colombia. Akim Green reports.
Felicity Sunaram, a representative of the Middle Street-based entity, indicated they wanted to play their part in helping a national athlete achieve his dreams, which is why they were motivated to support.
As we are sponsoring all of his sports equipment, as he will be attending the Pan American Games in Colombia, and we're very, very proud to do so. You don't see much places pushing natural talent here in Guyana, so we want to be able to carry him somewhere, push him further, and the best way we found to do this is by sponsoring.
Wong in response thanked the company for its partnership and vowed to represent them to the best of his ability.
I'm very happy for the support from Zoom. They've come on board to agree to help sponsor my equipment needs for the preparations to these games in Colombia. I will be attending the first Junior Pan American Games scheduled for November 25th to December 5th. I would like to extend my gratitude to Zoom and their staff for their continued support, and hopefully we can in the future build a long-lasting partnership.
The International Table Tennis Federation revealed the prospectus of the event back in May, and Wong was listed as a Caribbean representative for the men's under-21 singles. Wong's qualification came as a result of his world ranking, as he is currently ranked 706 with 168 rating points. In May, Guyana Olympic Association President K. Yuman Yassin told the media they have requested a proposal from the Guyana Table Tennis Association on getting Wong into a high-performance program ahead of the Games. The Games is a forthcoming international multi-sport event for for athletes aged 18 to 21 in the Americas, organized by Pan Am Sports. For the Newsroom, Akim Green.
And University of Guyana was the latest stop for the Guyana Badminton Association on Friday last when it introduced air badminton to students there. A team from the association journeyed to the Turkine campus to share details about the project. A team led by President of the Guyana Badminton Association and National Coach Kokan Ramdani visited the tertiary institution to share details on the air badminton project and distribute equipment. Ramdani was accompanied by Guyana's top national and international players, Narayan Ramdani and Priyana Ramdani, who engaged the students in several demos. Air Badminton is an ambitious new development project in partnership with HSBC, the World Federation's global development partner, designed to create opportunities for people of all ages and ability to play badminton on hard, grass and sand surfaces in parks, gardens, streets, playgrounds and beaches around the world. The project has been 5 years in the making, starting with a vision to develop a new outdoor shuttlecock with increased durability, stability and wind resistance to allow people to have a more positive experience of badminton outdoors.
This is the basic introduction to badminton. Air badminton is the most easiest game. It's fun and it's played on the sand, by the beach or on the lawns or even on a tarmac. Preferably the sand and the beach are better because you could jump and stuff like that. And the main purpose, as I said, is to just get badminton playing all over Guyana. And UG, we know have a number of students and they could, during their recess or breaks from class, could just go and stand in the field and hit some shuttlecocks and stuff. The shuttlecock is a very special shuttle. It's not like the normal shuttlecock. It's made to move through the air. So that is what World Badminton is working on now, and they plan to even go into tournaments for it. So there's going to be like beach tournaments and stuff like that. And so that is what the project is all about.
The Ramdani siblings, who have been involved in the sport from a tender age and have represented Guyana in several major regional and international tournaments, spoke of the importance of having the project introduced in Guyana.
I think the Shuttle Time program was a great opportunity for the students in Guyana, and it was nice traveling around Guyana to the different schools, introducing badminton to them and giving them a demonstration of how the game goes. And it's also a good way to promote the sport around the country and make it more popular. And we hope that they take the rackets and shuttles we give them and they improve in the game and the game gets higher in Guyana and more popular.
It was good to introduce the games at the different schools in Berbice and Linden. I think that's the first time we ever did all the schools at one time, and I think they will continue to play the sport and get it popular in Guyana. As you know, like 10 years ago, people didn't really know what badminton was, and now almost everyone in Guyana knows what badminton was because of the hard work of the Badminton Association. So we're just trying to keep it up and get the sport as one of the best sports in Guyana.
Over the last few weeks, the Badminton Association has been expanding the game in Guyana through the Shuttle Time project with visits to the Berbice High School, New Amsterdam Multilateral, Mackenzie High School and Christianberg Wisma Secondary School. Shuttle Time was introduced in Guyana in 2017 with the target group being primary and secondary school teachers and the aim being to introduce children aged 5 to 15 to badminton. Shuttle Time is the first such program to be hosted in Guyana, and it came to fruition following Guyana Badminton Association President Kokan Ramdani making representation at the World Federation's AGM in Gold Coast, Australia in May 2017. The Badminton Association over the years has been clamoring for the sport to be prominent in schools nationwide, and Ramdani believes the hosting of the Shuttle Time project and air badminton are positive steps in that direction. Reporting for Newsroom, I'm Avinash Ramzan. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. My name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching.